power of shadow works. That's right. We're going to focus on shadow works for Reiki. Because a lot of it has to do with us and our friend here. You have one too. You can do the same thing and cast your shadow. But that's who you are, your other self. And this leads to all sorts of things. We have a tendency to push things aside. We don't fulfill our destiny. We don't do what we're supposed to do. We just shun it. This could relate to relationships, your self-being, your self-worth. Everything wraps around this, your shadow. Don't be afraid of your shadow. You know, kids when they're growing up, you might be one of them too. You're afraid of the shadow. Because you were taught the shadow, if it didn't like something, it'll come out. But the shadow is who you are inside. You are your shadow. You are who that is. And this is what we're going to focus on. What is troubling you right now? Maybe whatever's happening in your life can't be solved just by healing alone. You have to tackle that problem. That inner self, that inner you. That leads to having the shadow. So know why things are happening like they're happening right now with you. Something that you haven't fulfilled yet in your life. It's not your fault. You know, you might come from a family that everyone was screaming and yelling and you know, carrying on and arguments and fighting, and you grew up in that kind of environment. So all you know now as an adult, I don't want to go through that. But then you're with your significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, and one little thing triggers it, boom, you start to remember as a child, hey, it was all right to argue back then. Why can't I argue now? No, it's not good to argue. Arguments and anger is not good because that's negative. But in the concept with the shadow is involved is that you have to figure out what's causing that negative. Why is it happening? Are you attracting the same kind of people all the time? You know, you men out there, you women, your partners, your significant others. Are you always getting the same kind of person? Maybe they're a narcissist. Well, narcissist is a type of person that, you know, that gets under your skin. And you let them get under your skin because you think it's all right to please the narcissist. I don't want to put labels on people because then we're going to get into the coaching mode. I want to get into the Reiki healing mode because we stay positive on this channel as best as we can. And we stay happy and motivated as best we can. But you got to fight your demons. And you got to fight, you know, what's causing you to be like you are. You come here for contentment. You come here for healing. You come here for peace. Because in your life, it's chaotic. And you're doing so many things. You're pleasing people. Because all the emotional exhaustion, emotional stress, all that stuff, you know, that takes a toll on you. People come to me for help. I don't ask for anything in return. But they clearly state, oh, I don't have no, you know, I don't have this, you know, or the you know, abundance. Let's say abundance. No, I didn't ask them for anything. What is your problem? What's going on? And they tell me. But sometimes when you tell them what to do, they don't want to do it because they're so used to doing it. Could you imagine if you were, I'm not going to say female or male or whatever. I'm not going to say because, you know, I keep somebody's privacy. But I can say is this. If something happened to you repeatedly, then why do you go back with those sort of people? Why do you feel comfortable around those sort of people? So you have to solve that. You know? If you can't solve that, that's why there's no help for that kind of a person. Because they choose that kind of lifestyle. They choose to stay in those kind of relationships. If it's a relationship or just a comfort zone, they're so used to it. Hey, I'm comfortable. I don't want to give that up. Why should I? People have relationships, right? And then they get so liberated in that relationship where they can't hope anymore. It's just, oh my God, the same thing's happening again. I better tell that person, I got to get out of it. I got to get out of it. And they leave, they go, they end the relationship. Then they want to stay friends with you. But we all know you can't stay friends, because if you had a relationship with a person and you stay friends with that person is going to get ideas. They left for a reason. They left because they couldn't stand you. Maybe they hate you. They didn't want nothing to do with you. You drive them, you get on their nerves. You know, if somebody was like that, then why you want to be friends with that person? Or they do everything under the sun. You block them on Facebook. You block them on social media. You block them everywhere, and they still come back because there's loopholes. Whoever you friend and you let in, they can still be a friend of that person, and they can still reach out to you. When it says mutual friend 1, that person is the key to allow them back into your life. They'll say, hey, how you doing? Because they miss you. They know in back of their head, in their mind, that they had it good. You treated them good, but they treated you bad. And some of you are so nice and accepting, you'll bring them, let them back in. But you bring them back as a friend. You don't bring them back as what you had. What you had will always reoccur, because it's not going to work out with you two, because you're not meant to be. That is the question there. You're not meant to be with that person. Listen to your shadow. Don't ignore yourself. That's you. That's me right there. Don't ignore that person, because that is who you are. When you hear that little voice in your head, you better pay attention. It's going to tell you, hey, why you go back with her for? Hey, why you go back with him, huh? You know, why'd you go back with your significant other or your other partner? Why'd you go back? You go back because you felt it was good, but they left you for a reason, and you know why they left you for, and yet you let them back in. What's this, a revolving door? Come on back, gone again. Come on back, gone again. Come on back. That's how it is. Why? Why do you put yourself up with that? You might love that person so much, but they don't love you deep down. If they did, you would have broken up like that. Think about it. You broke up for a reason. It's not going to work. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't stay friends. Staying friends is just going to rehash things. What? You're going to jump back into bed? Was it bed? Whatever you're going to fantasize about them. You dream about them. They were nice to you. They were good to you. But in reality, they might have been good to you, but you weren't good to them. And that's why they broke up, or you broke up with them, because you couldn't stand them anymore, because it drove you crazy. They got underneath your skin. Don't let nobody get underneath your skin. Don't tolerate people who abuse you verbally, mentally. They might be, you go out in the street with them, and they belittle you in front of others, put you down. But they come back to that where you live, you went them out, and they say, oh, I'm sorry, oh, I didn't mean it, I apologize. Apology is not going to be accepted. Promises is not going to be accepted. Promises is something where kids do, when their mommy said, oh, I'm sorry, Mommy, I promise I won't have it happen again. But you're a grown adult. You can't promise anything. You have to commit yourself to knowing that that person is not going to work out. You might have fantasies. You might think about them. Get them out of head. To get them out of head, you got to use the power to forget. You write their name on a piece of paper. You watch the video. It teaches you how to do it and the healing process, and get them out of your head. Because if you don't get them out of your head, you're going to have that a little bit of them still inside your head. And you need to get them out. And that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Yeah. Got to do it a couple of times until they're out of your head. Until now, get rid of all the pictures, all the video. What are you keeping stuff from them? Don't call them. Get rid of their phone number. Get rid of everything. You see them on the street, don't say nothing. It's better that way not to say. Don't get into an argument. They'll knock on your door. Don't answer it if it's them. If they won't go away, then you have to call the police and let the police take care of it. Or you put a restraining order on it and keep them away. Yeah, you have to do. That's what you have to do. They'll do it to you if you were to harass, especially female. Oh, be careful. You guys, you need to back off. You girls need to back off. Everybody needs to back off. Don't get yourself in those kind of situations. Let them go. Let them get out of your head. Let them get out of your life. Let them go. And then focus on why did you get rid of them or why did they leave? Well, people make up stories. It could be another person in their life. They're tired of you. The other person might have promised them a whole bunch of things. Then guess what happens to them? It gets hit back in their face. And they come running, calling, trying to get back to you. That's all they can. Because they know life was better with you than anybody else. Could you imagine you met somebody online and you're chatting back and forth and you find out that person is chatting to other people. Say you as a man or you as a woman, girlfriend, whatever it is, boyfriend, whatever it is, your significant other, we cover everything here. You find out they were talking to other people, doing the same things, playing the same love song, adding two pieces of pictures together. Maybe you never met them in person, and you're gonna go fly off and meet them one day, but you can't because something happened, shut down the whole country, So you never got to meet. Sorry. Maybe you weren't meant to meet. And then another paradox opened up. Another world opened up where you have another opportunity to actually find that person and you're happy with that person. Why would you go back with somebody who did that to you? I know it's cheating, which is negative, but maybe that's what that person knows what to do. Shun you away, run over to another person. Shun that other person away, run over to another person. Then realize they made a mistake and they come back to you, but it's too late because you have found somebody else. Why would you go back? And if you let them back in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, it never stops. You're not meant to be. Something happened in their lives. It could be a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is that happened to them. Put them in that maybe they got hurt. Maybe they fell in love, their childhood sweetheart, had children with that person. And that person became an alcoholic. That person just forget about them, care about their friends more, and just shun that person. And that person, it's traumatized in their head, and they're going to think like that for the rest of their lives. And they'll never get to a point where they could accept you. They're looking for love. They have all kind of posts online, social media, on their pages. They love, 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 love. Because they don't have love. They can't love no one. They can love their children, their parents, their siblings, but they can't love you. Because if they love you, they wouldn't have done what they did. And they don't realize it happened until it hits them in the face. And they come back to you many, many times throughout the years. But you need to stop and tell them it's not going to work. We can't be friends. You just need to leave. And some people don't take no for an answer. And they come back. They keep coming back. Constantly keep coming back. And it doesn't stop. It doesn't end there. So a lot of you go through all of this. We just call this in and out relationships. Okay? Shadow works. In and out. The power of the shadow and in and out relationships. Okay? Because you need to understand what this all means. Then what do? Well, first of all, you take the scissor and you cut that off. You have nothing to do with it. Don't call them, don't communicate. Go on with your life. It's hard. You have to grieve. You'll cry. You'll miss them. If they don't cry, don't miss you, then you know they didn't care about you. They weren't in love with you. You might love a person like you love your cat. You love your family. But you're not in love with that person. That's what happens. Deep down, they're not in love with you. And love is different. That's real, true, emotional love. True identity love. You get the goosebumps, you get the feeling, the heart, the gut. You can't eat, can't sleep. They are into you 100%. If they're into you 100%, they can't live without you, hopelessly in love, all that, everything. That means the good, the positive, and they don't feel the same way that you do, then they are not meant for you, and you need to pluck them out of your head. Forget them. And remember, the longer you've been in that kind of a relationship, the longer it takes to get over it. But sometimes you get so shocked and you find out what they did to you, you go into a shock state, a state of shock, where they're gone out of your head. You don't know who they are. You take all their pictures and you throw it in the trash, or you burn it. And then anything they bought you, give it away to charity, get rid of it. You don't need that stuff. I know if they give you a vehicle, well, you can sell it. It's up to you with there. But anything that reminds you of them, you at a certain might be time to rearrange the furniture, change the curtains, do things, shift things around. You got to get that presence out of the house. Their presence. You get somebody like a Reiki master or a shaman to come to the house and get all that negative energy out, smoke it, or you could do it yourself, but it's better if you get them because they know what to say. And that I would come in, take the drum, say the certain chants and words, and get that influence out, and also get you into a state of flux where you forget that person, hypnotize you, almost like put you in a trance. Remember, it's not one session on that. That takes a couple of sessions until you can completely forget that person. It's tough. Thanks for watching this video, okay? This is more a motivation to get you to do what I just said. To use the power of Reiki to heal you, to engulf you and inflame you with the power of Reiki, the strength of the power. That's why these are powers, right? This is a powerful affirmation, motivation to help get you to the point where you need to be in life. You need that healing, but you need to understand why the shadow of yourself is who you are and why you kind of push things away, tuck it away, put it away out of your head. You say, oh, I'm through, it's finished, I don't think about that person. But you do, you still think about that person. You will always think about that person until you take the power of forget and write it down on a paper, tear up that paper and toss it in the flame, and use my power to help throw that thought out of your head. You gotta watch it several times until they're out of your head. Get rid of all the pictures, get rid of everything I said before. You have to. And they're not your friends. That's when people put you in the friend zone, a relationship that you had, and the person, hey, but can we be friends? They put you in the friend zone. Bing! You're in a friend zone. Why? Why are you in a friend zone? So, power shadow. This one is in and out. In and out of relationships, in and out of people. You need to stop, and you need to understand that you need to get the healing, and that's what we're doing in this video. This session is to heal and take out the sorrow, the pain, the anguish. You need to get healed. You need to feel good about yourself. You need this shadow to understand, and you to understand that what you're doing is hurting you, and you need to stop. Stop and think. Meditate. Heal with this session video. Let it help encourage you the right way of doing it. Stay positive. Stay on top of things. Don't push things out of your head. Don't run away. Face your fears and face what's happening. It's the only way to happen. Only way to take control of this. But you can't have them as friends. You know why? Because if they're around you as a friend, you might start to feel romantic. You might touch them a certain way. Miss the old emotional feeling, the touching, the cuddling, the feeling, watching movies, you got a cooking dinner, eating, you get too familiarized, you miss that comfort, but you might not want to have sex or anything like that, or intimate, because that's not what you want. But you can't help yourself. You miss them. You just have to get that desire See, you don't want to put yourself through all of that. Don't have nothing to do with them. Stay on your own until you can find somebody else. And then the next person, you know what to do. You got to make sure both of you are on the same page. You have chemistry. If you don't have chemistry, there's no sense putting 100% into it. And it takes time. Don't rush into anything. Don't rush. What are you rushing for? Are you that desperate? No. Don't be desperate. And you have to figure out who is the person you want to be. Not the ex. They're ex for a reason. They can't come back in your life because they might have hurt you. They might have belittled you. They might have put you down. They might have hurt you physically. Yes. Scratch, punch, smack. All that scratch, punch, smack, and throwing things at you, that's a negative. They're violent. Why do you want to be in a violent relationship? It could lead to beyond that, so be careful. Sometimes they're like that because that's what happened to them as a child. Maybe their parents were like that with them. The parents are fighting and they're throwing things and calling each other, belittling themselves out in public. Or another thing too is you go someplace with them and you said something wrong. You go back outside the store. They're gone. They took the car and they're gone. They fled because they felt good. They laughed. Ha ha! I got it on him. I got it on her. I got it on my partner. I got them back. See, they get you back. You didn't do anything? Why did they flee and left you stranded? How you didn't get home? So you live in a place there's no bus, no train, and you have to rely on either a taxi or one of the ride shares. Maybe your family members are not nearby because you ended up leaving them because this person wants you to be with them, and they don't want you around your family because they know your family would tell you the truth, and they didn't want you to hear the truth. They want to make you believe that you're living in a perfect utopia, but you're not living a perfect utopia. You're living in lies, and lies lead to what you got now. Them leaving you, abandoning you in a parking lot, gone with the vehicle. It's crazy, and especially if they had nephews and nieces, they'd be, "Hey, why'd you leave? Why'd you leave? Why'd you leave him behind? Why'd you leave her behind?" And it wasn't for the children. You would have never come back for your boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, significant other. You wouldn't never come back. You didn't want to come back because you didn't think about them. You don't have them on your mind. You forget all about them, even though you're living together. See? That's terrible. That's a wickedness, selfish behavior. And that's what you want to be with as a friend still? Wake up. That's not a friend. That is not a friend. You know better. But yet, you put up with it. You don't put up with people like that. You have to face the fact. The fact is, number one, they're not your friends. They're nothing anymore. They are nothing because they put you in the same boat. They made you nothing and they ran off with other partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever it is you're dealing with. They ran off with somebody else, and then the other person they ran off to did it to them, and they come running back to you. "I'm sorry, let me in, please, please. I'm sorry. I want to be with you. I'm sorry." No, you're not the second person. You're not the last hope for them. Safe bet. No, you don't want to be like that. If anybody ever comes to you and you're dating and they say to you, they feel secured, they feel relief just being with you, what does that mean? That means you're a safe haven for them. With you, they feel peace. They might have a husband. They might have a wife, a partner, and you don't know nothing about them. When you ask them questions about anything, something weird going on, and you're suspicious about something, and you say, "Stop asking all these questions." What are you asking all these questions for? You're asking questions because you need to know what's going on. Because if you don't know what's going on, and only they know what's going on, you look simple. You don't want to feel like that. And a lot of you go through all of this. But you need to understand that you don't go through these kind of situations, and you need to follow your shadow. Listen to your inner soul. It'll tell you, hey, wake up, something's wrong here. Don't you see something's wrong? But you know something's wrong. But what did you do? You don't want to hear it. You don't want to see it. Nope, it's not real. That's not what's happening. Everything's okay. Everything's perfect. No, it's not perfect. You know it's not perfect because you don't want to cope with it. You don't want to deal with it. You better look the other way. Nope, everything's okay. Everything's good. We have a good relationship. Everything's okay. Everything's cool. Everything's great. But the signs are, you come home from work, she sees you, he sees you, your partner sees you. They don't hug you. They don't kiss you. They're watching TV. They said, hey, what'd you bring me home for dinner? What'd you get me? See, that's entitlement. That's not the person. They don't love you. You say, hey, I love you. And they say, yeah, whatever you said, same thing. What? You say to them, don't you love me? Yeah, I love you. Are you in love with me? Say that to them. And they say, no, I'm not in love with you. I told you from the beginning, but you still think I do. But, what do you mean? You came back to me. Yeah, because I was rejected by so many. So I know with you, no matter what I do, you accept me. See? Bing. You should have listened to your inner self. See, that person told you why they came back. They need to pack up their things, and you need to drop them off. Whoever it is they have friends with, whoever the parent is, drop them off and say, this is not going to work. Pack your things and go. And that's how you have the authority. And they'll come crying, no, I didn't mean what I said. No, because what they said, they meant. You just realize that now. That closed, locked door in your mind is now opened. And that stuff hits your fan. Well, it hits you in the face, I should say. But you do realize what's going on. Don't be hypnotized. Don't be traumatized. Pathological liars. People, they can put you in a state of well, there's two types of liars. There's the type that they're born like that. And there's the other type that create a fantasy world. And you're in that fantasy world. Everything they say you believe. But they're just misleading you. They're just leading you on. And you're stuck in that kind of world. You need to wake up. You need to get healed. And you need to get motivated and to understand what you're involved with and what is causing this. Number one, like I said, get rid of them. They're not your friends. Stop thinking about them. Use the power to forget. Watch that video. That's what that's for. It's on here. Or the session, I should say. Watch it. Tear it up. Learn how to write the name with a pencil on a paper. If you have a picture, you can do the same thing too. It's much stronger with the picture. You write the name on the back of the picture so you know who it is. And you tear it up, put it in the fire. And let my hand and what I say in the session video help get them out of your head. You just have to get a tingling feeling over you. It's a good experience because you get them out of your head. Because you need to get them out. They're a lost cause. You can't help them. They'll go. When they're gone from you, they go to somebody else and they do the same thing. The in and out continues in their life. You don't need to be in that in and out. That's not helpful to you. You need to get that out. Let's take away that negative. There's a lot of negative was said. And just understand what's going on in your life. You just got to understand. It takes time. You must understand all these healing videos and stuff. They will remove, but you have to keep doing it. sending you the light. The candle, white candle is strong, powerful, means purity. It means that you are gonna feel that this is you here. I've mentioned it many times. You gotta get healed. Let's put the candle there. And that's your soul has to be neutralized. So we're doing the shadow works, but I'm doing Reiki and other things too. This is how your soul should be green. The darker it is, the better. There's a little bit too much light in here, as this stuff works better in the dark. Yes, you want your soul green. Green is the heart chakra. It's also a part of the aurora. And here, listen, you gotta get yourself healed. Keep watching this video over and over again. You'll get healed. You don't have to smudge and burn sage or something else. The candles, spraying lavender. Lavender takes out neutrality. My presence right here with you takes out neutrality too. You feel the tingling. You feel the healing. You feel the overwhelm, the guilt, everything come right out of you. Your soul. Make it green. See? That's what you want. But you see how the green dissolves? That's how it works. The light. You say positive 1 second for a couple hours, and you go back to the other way. Because you hear negative influence. You don't want to be influenced by negativity, and you want to do what's right. Listen to your inner self. Listen to your shadow. Don't be afraid of your shadow. Talk to your shadow. That's you. It might be you in a different paradigm, other reality, parallel worlds. Another you, another situation. And that other world, you might be happy. Everything's going great. You don't have this in and out nonsense going on. You don't need that. You need to be green, positive. Okay? You understand that? Hey, thanks for watching the other video. More of these videos will come out. Okay? But I just want you to understand. We need to work together. And we're going to work together with you. The two of us. 2 is better than 1. Oh, that's that. Make your soul green again. All right. Now, take several deep breaths. Every time you exhale, you take the life force energy and help cleanse yourself completely. Healing is done so many different ways, and grounding is done so many different ways. Yeah, sure. Right now, I am barefooted. I'm on the ground. You can go outside barefoot, but be careful because in the grass, there's all sorts of things running around. Especially if there's grass is not cut low and they have little flowers. The bees like to hang out, so be careful. Okay, so that's why you can be grounded any place. Because if your house or apartment is sitting on ground, you're on the ground. You see, all right, see how that goes. All right. Hey, thanks for watching and listening to this session of Shadow Works. Okay, for in and out in relationships and stuff like that. Okay, this is going to say Shadow Works, and let's read the title. What is it? But this is the power of Shadow Works. This is the power series because I'm giving you motivation. I'm giving you understanding how life is out there. Stay tuned for another one of these to help you. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, you need to accept, you need to believe, you need to trust. So you have to accept, trust, and believe in me, and say, yes, yes, I believe, yes, yes, I accept, yes, I believe, yes, I trust, and accept my Healing from Reiki Master Albert. Thank you for watching this session on this channel called Reiki with Albert. Okay, you take care now. Shante, I sent you 360-degree shadow protection shield to help protect you throughout your day, or as many times as you watch this video, to help heal yourself from these in and out relationship issues or woes. That means problems. You just don't want to get involved in that. You should be happy, and you should be happy with the other person. That's why I say it's very hard to find a significant other, because all of us are born as strangers. If we knew who you're supposed to be, made it with, hey, then it would be a lot easier. But it's tough. There's somebody out there for you, and there's somebody out there for everybody. You just have to find that person. All right? But don't have people who are narcissists, negative people that use you and trying to get things for free without giving you something in return. Now, I know some of you said you don't want anything in return. Yeah, but then they take advantage of you, and that can go on for years. Okay. All right. Shante, peace. I send you divine love of healing. Bye for now.